Okay, Denise.
Good. Hello. Today I would like to inform you of the importance of food labels to include GMO. GMO is genetically modified organisms, and they are a result of a lab process in which genes of one organism are forced into another organism to form a modified substance, and it should be labeled as such. We hear a lot today about being trans. Well, did you know that some of the foods that you eat every day are trans? Transgenic organisms are altered by genetic engineering. The genes can come from bacteria, viruses, insects, animals, and even humans. I chose this topic because I'm a healthcare professional, and I've learned while doing this research that in over 60 countries, including Japan and the European Union, that GMOs have been banned from production and sale. So why in the U.S. are we still producing and selling them, and why, if we are going to do that, are we not labeling them on our current labels? Today I'd like to look at three aspects of GMOs. What is the GMO effect on our health? Why is it important to add these three letters to our labels? GMO is a result of a lab process. According to the article GMO Foods, Good or Bad, the aim is to introduce a new trait into the plant that doesn't exist in that species. The first genetically modified plant was produced in 1983, and it was an antibiotic-resistant tobacco. In 1994, the first transgenic tomato called the Flavor Saver was introduced, but it was removed later because of effects that it had on the animals that it was tested on. According to the Cornucopia Institute article, Top 10 Most Common GMO Foods, written by Chris Keenan, many of the foods that we eat daily and weekly have been modified. Half of the U.S. farms growing corn is modified for human consumption. This Skinny Pop here that I love to eat has a sign that says non-GMO. Because most of the corn that we're growing has been altered, it's important to look for non-GMO. The canola oil that you find in the grocery store, most of it is chemically altered in the United States. 90% of the soy in the United States has been modified to resist Roundup. A fifth of the dairy cows have been given growth hormone to increase their yield, and that's been found in our children's blood samples when it's been drawn. Now let's look at the effect of GMO on our health. The FDA, Food and Drug Administration, refuses to require testing and labeling of GMF and has made consumers the guinea pig for harmful, unregulated food substances, according to Andrew Kimbrough, Executive Director of the Center for Food Safety. According to the FDA, the label only needs to list its food if it's significantly different from its original state or the materially changed the nutritional values. The AMA, the American Medical Association, says if you're that concerned, you should use USDA organic. I've got a picture of a drink here, and it's kind of small, Denise, you may need to prove in, but there's a sign here that says USDA organic, and you can also see the non-GMO project label here. So it's important to look for these if you're concerned about these issues. According to the FDA, the label only needs to list information if the food is different. Technically, they say it's the plant that's altered, not the food that's produced from the plant. The FDA says that genetically modified foods are equivalent to conventionally produced foods, so you don't need to change the label. One study says that it's the Roundup that's the problem, not the modification. But according to the Non-GMO Project, due to the herbicide tolerance, superbugs have been formed, and they can only be killed by super toxins, and the super toxin that they are using is the same kind of thing as they used in Agent Orange, which was used in chemical warfare in Vietnam. And the babies that were born from the women who were exposed to Agent Orange were born with spina bifida that's been associated with cancers, heart disease, and Parkinson's disease, just to name a few. GMOs have also been linked to obesity and organ disruption. Aspartame, which is made from bacteria, has been linked to cancer, And the zucchini that we have contains a toxic protein to make it more resistant to insects, and it's been found in human blood, pregnant women, and fetus. Now I'd like to look at why it's important to add GMO to our labels. The Non-GMO Project, which is a nonprofit organization, is interested in preserving and building non-GMO choices, building our food supplies, and educating consumers and providing choices. You can look for the non-GMO seal like I showed you on our bottle. It's a third-party testing, so they're not making money by saying these things. It's governed by a board of directors. It works with community advisors from all sectors, not just specific interest groups. Obama has allowed interest groups to actually do the testing, and they're the very groups who are selling the GMOs. According to the Wall Street Journal, an article written by Annie Gasparo, that July the 1st, which is just a few days away now, Vermont will be the first state that starts a mandatory labeling law. And within a year, they have to be up to labeling everything, or they'll get a $1,000 a day fine. One of the environmental work groups wants the wording to be exactly on the label to say GMO. But there's another group, the Coalition for Safe Affordable Food, that favors just putting a 1-800 number on the label, to put a QR code on the label, or a website, so you would have to look at the website to see if it's got this in it or not. As you can see, we're making progress, but not enough. We've still got 49 states to go. As the debate rages, you can agree or not agree with transgenic foods, but I believe that this data proves that we need to label. Now you know the definition, you know how it affects our health, and why it's important to label. Let your voices be heard. We, the people, have a right to be heard and informed. Ways that you can help create change are to shop non-GMO Project Verified, find retailers that sell non-GMO foods, and donate to support the project. I've got websites here. If you're interested in the non-GMO Project, go to the website. It's an excellent website. And also I would suggest that you write to your senator. Here's the website for senators. You can go and tell your senators why that you believe that we need to be labeling. Thank you. Did you show everybody?
Oops.
Still here.
Okay.
We'd be clapping.
Still here.
I can't show myself, but.